Hey everybody, welcome. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to handle objections like a professional, right? Now, back to my channel, okay? I'm Scott, and today we're going to talk about something that every network marketer, every marketer in general faces, and that is objections, okay? Whether it's I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or the dreaded, is this a pyramid scheme? These are the three that people most commonly face, but objections are just part of the business. But here's the thing. Once you learn to handle them effectively, and you'll see the same ones over and over, they actually become opportunities to educate and connect, okay? So in this video, I'm going to share my top 5 strategies for handling these objections that could completely transform your business. So pay attention, listen up, right? The 4th strategy especially is a game changer, helping people to convert 3 prospects who initially said, absolutely not. So stay tuned to the end, right? Those people are some of my strongest team members today. So at the end, I'll also share a script for you that you can use the next time someone asks if what you're doing is a pyramid scheme, right? Again, it's a common objection that people get. So let's dive into it, okay? Grab a pen and paper and let's get into it. Strategy number 1 is listen fully without interrupting, okay? Most people want to be heard. And the first mistake that many people make is jumping in to defend themselves or even just fill the silence before the other person has finished speaking. So when someone raises an objection, you want to take a deep breath. Actually listen completely. Okay? When you learn to do this, what it does is it slows the whole process down. All right? It keeps you from being defensive, and it keeps them from being defensive, more important. All right? So you want to hear them. You want to understand. One response is to just rephrase the question even. Give yourself a second to absorb. Let them know that you are listening. When you listen fully, you accomplish 2 things, okay? First of all, and this is important, you show respect for their concerns. And also, you gather complete information about what's really blocking them. Because a lot of times, the main objection or the first objection they throw out is not the real objection, okay? Strategy number 2 is to validate their concern. Once they finish speaking, you want to start by validating it. This doesn't mean you agree with it, okay? What it means is that you acknowledge it as legitimate from their perspective, okay? For example, gosh, I completely understand why you'd be concerned about, the time commitment. That's actually something that I worried about personally too before I got started because I've got a lot of things going on. I'm very, very busy and I had a lot of things going on. So when you do that, you follow up with, that's a great question. I can see why you'd feel that way. I had the same concern. So it's acknowledging, it's understanding, and it's letting them know that you face the same exact concern. Many successful people in our team initially felt the same way. That way, they see that they're starting out exactly where a lot of other people started out, right? Then you want to ask questions to understand them deeper, okay? So instead of immediately countering their objection, ask questions so you can fully understand what's behind it. All this time, remember, you're building relationship, okay? You're building that trust factor. So often, again, the stated objection isn't even the real instance. For example, someone says, I don't have the money. You might ask, oh, interesting. So just so I understand this better, is it that the initial investment feels too high, or is it the concern that you're not going to see a return and actually make that money back? So their answer is going to guide your response and show that you are generally interested in helping them and in their specific situation, not just recruiting them, right? Because ultimately, it's about helping team members reach their goals. The more people you help reach their goals, the easier you'll reach your goals. Number 4 is to share a relevant story. This is a game changer, okay? When you share a story about yourself or someone else who had the same exact objection but overcame it to find success, you create that powerful vision of possibility. So let me share how this works, okay? There's someone who says, for example, I don't have enough time. As a single mom, I have 2 jobs. You might respond with, well, what if I told you that so-and-so in our group, and you can find stories of people who are similar today, has been extremely successful working around, and then you find a similar situation. Don't make it up, make it real, okay? In today's age of social media and groups, there are ample examples of people who might fit that same situation. You don't tell her she could find the time, okay? You share a specific example of someone in the same situation who made it work, all right? What this does is it helps people see themselves succeeding despite their current objection. Now, strategy number 5 is to offer a low-risk next step. So after addressing that concern, offer a very small step that doesn't require overcoming their objection completely, okay? So if they're worried about the cost, you might say, I understand the investment is a consideration. Would it be helpful if I shared our product guides? You can see exactly what you get for the investment. There's no obligation, of course. What it does is, the key is making this step small, and it makes it risk-free. Focuses on the education rather than pressure. Okay, you're actually educating them about the process. You're providing value to them. Now, what about that pyramid scheme response, right? So as promised, when someone asks if this is a pyramid scheme, great way to respond is, gosh, I really appreciate you asking that directly, because pyramid schemes are illegal. They don't involve real products or services. They just move money around. What I'm offering involves legitimate products. Customers actually love these products. They use these products regularly. And we have a compensation plan that rewards people for actual sales and building a team of others who do the same thing, right? I'd be happy to show you our product catalog. I'd be happy to show you our compensation structure if you'd like to learn more and kind of fully understand the difference better. See how that is? It kind of outlines a whole simple word-for-word response that you can use. Some people that will turn around, some people it won't, but if you have that response and you sound confident and comfortable in it, you'll turn more people around than you know. So let's put this together with a quick situation. So imagine someone says to you, this sounds great, but I don't know anyone who'd be interested in this, which in today's market and social media and automation and generating leads is not a real response, okay? So here's how I'd respond. You want to, again, listen fully, right? You want to validate. That's a really common concern, and I felt exactly the same way when I got started. You want to ask deeper questions, okay? Just curious, when you think about the people what makes you think they wouldn't be interested? Or what if I told you that you don't have to approach your family and friends, and it doesn't matter who you can still be successful with this? Then you want to share a story about someone who thought the same, but was surprised, right, by what they found. Low risk next step again. Would it be helpful if I shared our lead magnet in quotes, because whatever your lead magnet might be, I can show you how to create one. There's no pressure to use it, but many people find it eye-opening, right? Now, here's the action step, okay? It's your turn. So in the comments below, I want you to share the most common objection you hear and how you might respond using these strategies, okay? I'll reply to as many as I can with additional suggestions. But if you found this helpful, and hopefully you got great value out of this, then give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button for more network marketing tips each week, all right? I will see you in the next video.